much for the 50 gifted memberships right at the start of the stream, man. Appreciate you, brother. So everybody who got a membership, you can speak in chat. You can ask questions throughout the stream. I'm going to try and get better at interacting with the chat. I've just been very focused on getting caught up with all the news-related events because I was on Wednesday and then I didn't come back again until Monday. So we'll try and go over more of that today. PPI is definitely going to be at the forefront. We've got earnings coming in tomorrow, starting with the banking sector. These are all very big things. We got a lot of bouncing. There were a lot of really great setups yesterday, guys, which is why we went in so hard. I have like no cash left. That was kind of deliberate, and we'll talk about some of those too as well. But it's the day is starting off well. It's starting off really good. Albert, morning. What's up, dude? Alex, hey, dude. Dario, Toby171, Namdatan, Manny247. Welcome to new friends of Jesse. Hit the like button. Study hard. Change your future. Thank you, man. That's the goal. Ash says 6 days and counting. M2M crew till this nightmare is over. I'm very excited about the presidency coming up here. I think people think I'm overly bullish on Trump. I'm not. I'm just somebody who takes the time to listen to all of the people that are working for him and what they're saying and what they're going to do, and then tries to weigh that against the rest of the world and trying to figure out what's going to happen. And I think I have a pretty good idea of that, and I'm very excited about it. But without further ado, so we briefly talked yesterday for all the noobs. I made a post. It was pretty popular, but I had extreme fear. I put buy, and then I put sell and extreme greed. And I'm like, it's this simple. And yeah, so we're up today. Actually had a really good bounce yesterday. At one point in the stream yesterday, my account was down $350,000. And now it looks like it closed up like $50,000-$60,000 yesterday. So it was a really good bounce. Oh my God, we've got Gary Gensler talking from the SEC. Whoa, I can't miss this. Just 1 second. We're gonna go back. I gotta see this. This is retarded. Let's see what Gary Gensler has to say in his last few days, before he disappears. Just 1 second here. I hate this guy so much. All right, let's zoom in. Let's listen to this retard and see what he has to say.
The number of folks,
Let me go back
and thank you for talking with us throughout your time in office. There's about 100 questions that I have on my list, but I want to start with one that I think actually may be, in a way, the hardest. And I think it's a political question, but it's also a philosophical question, which is when you look back at the work that you did over the last 4 years, and you also look at this election, specifically this election, and you look at the number of folks in the crypto world who ultimately turned out, not just turned out for President-elect Trump, but turned out for President-elect Trump with money, with dollars, the huge amount of money that went into effectively his campaign as, to some degree, a rebuke of what was happening with your efforts to block some of the things that they were doing. I'm so curious how you personally think about that today.
First, Andrew, Joe, Becky, so good to be with you, and thank you for inviting me.
Oh, fuck off, Gary.
Look, I think
Nobody likes you.
I believe deeply in our great democracy. I think that this
Piece of
election, though, as you point out, there was money raised from the crypto field. I don't think that's what this election was about.
It was all about hating
this
you.
field, the crypto field, a highly speculative field, has not been compliant with various laws, whether it's anti-money laundering laws, sanctions laws, or in our case, securities laws. Now, Bitcoin's not a security, but these 10 or 15,000 other tokens, the investing public has been hurt over the many years. My predecessor, Jay Clayton, who's going to serve again in the Trump administration.
Love
but
Jay Clayton.
Had brought about 80 cases.
Love Jay Clayton.
We're a law enforcement agency. That's what we've continued to do to protect the investing public so they get disclosure, to protect against fraud, manipulation, and there's just been too much of that in this field. And then, of course, to address conflicts when you had these crypto exchanges not only operating as exchanges, but also trading against their customers.
I just remember how much I hate Gary Gensler. So we're moving on from that subject. All right, real quickly. Let's hop over here. Since my windows are all flopping around, I can't wait until I get my new Mac. I really hope it resolves some of the issues that I've been having. So we talked about yesterday how we thought oil was going to reject off this trend line that goes back to 2022. And if you look at it on the monthly time frame, you can kind of see how it's done that, right? You can see like rejection, 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 and now we're back over here. And so I think that appears to be happening. Oil's coming down about almost 0.5% today. If you hate Gary Gensler, imagine how Garlinghouse must feel. Yeah, no shit. I mean, there's a bunch of people that hate Gensler because he went after the entire crypto industry, including banks. Silvergate Bank collapsed because of this man, along with numerous other companies, just because they basically put the screws to them to make them collapse. So yeah, he's just a horrible person. I thought he was going to be so much better. I used to hate Jay Clayton. I used to hate him. And now he's a part of the crypto industry and he's like an advocate and a great guy. So it's weird what ends up happening over time with these relationships. But yeah, so oil coming down, that's good. We can see that the dollar is kind of doing that too. You can see where it wicked up here, got to the 110 level a little bit above. It has come down a little bit since yesterday. It is trying to go up a little bit today. But this is good. So we're seeing some of that come down. We do still have that Japanese yen carry trade, guys. That one's a little scary. So we still see where the last time that the Japanese yen carry trade was unwinding, it was because we were hitting levels that we hadn't seen since the early 90s, like 1990 actually. And so we're getting closer to that level now. And if we just look, there's so many other currencies that are continuing to receive just extreme amounts of pressure. Let's see if I have India in here. I don't know if I have the dinar. How do I even say? Yeah, there we go. So if we look here, the Indian rupee, you can see that the levels on this, I mean, this is just incredible. This is insane if you look at this, how much weakening we've seen. And again, we've seen weakening for a while, right? This isn't a new trend in India. India's got a lot of pain. I actually posted a video from this guy named Joe Blogs that was talking about some of the problems that are going on in India. I think it was Joe, but you can see that going back since the GFC, the Great Financial Crisis, that their currency has been devaluing against the United States dollar. But again, it started to ramp again here. You can kind of see where it was being protected for a while, all the way up until about, August of 2023. But more recently here, it's just started to break away too, where the dollar is just gaining a lot of power against it. And that's, again, it's not just this currency, it's all of them, guys. It's all of them. And I've got another chart that I'll show that'll kind of show some of that. But even if we look at the Brazilian real, it is in rough shape too. It's gotten better in the last few days since its peak over here, right around the 20th of December. That was a tougher zone for it to be in. And you could see with Brazil, again, just another pattern where it just had a launch pad since September. It was sitting at like 5.42, and then it made it all the way up to 6.33 before retracing. So many currencies are getting wrecked right now by what's going on with the dollar. And I think that some of that pain, I think it's getting closer and coming to an end. But there could still be more of it, and it could be selective across different currencies in the world. Anybody going toe-to-toe with Donald Trump right now is going to get absolutely fucked. If you're a country going against Donald Trump right now, you're going to hurt. You're going to suffer a lot of pain. And I don't think enough people realize that, but that is what's coming. And again, he's going to be selective on tariffs. There's a lot of things that are going to happen. There's a lot of misinformation about what's going on with this tariff program. I do think it will be selective and it will be impactful. Real quick here. So again, we got PPI coming out a little bit later. That's going to be at 7:30. So we're about 22 minutes away from that. This will be impactful for today. This is the big news today. So we'll be watching that later on too. We at 1 o'clock this afternoon, we're going to have Argentina's inflation rate. So look out for a post on X in regard to that. I did want to speak real quickly. M2 money supply for China. Again, outstanding loan growth, total social financing. We're just going to roll through these super fast. Just to show you a few things. So total social financing, still not looking super great. But again, all these things jump in January. That's the big month where they stimulate it. You can see it going back since the beginning of time. Really, this pattern, this pattern of stimulating in January. I mean, gosh, you can see it here in 2014. You can see it. Is it over here? Nope, that's March. Right here, 2010. So 2010 is really the start of it, but it became very consistent starting around 2016, where literally like every year you would see the total social financing. The only really off year is here in 2018. Outside of that, that's all these big spikes. So we really need to see that come January. This number needs to be very, very tall. If it's weaker than that, then China's going to have a lot of real world problems. It's going to have a lot of problems. So let's just look here. So that was total social financing, outstanding loan growth. We'll look at. You can see how it just keeps going down and down and down. This is a catastrophic number. It's again, just look at the brighter times. You can see what did they do to survive the great financial crisis? I would say this, right? Look at the loan growth, month over month. Just what we kept seeing here. 30% loan growth and is huge. 34% loan growth is huge. Look at what's been happening, especially since about 2023. Look at what's been happening here. It's just fallen off a cliff. And it's just a sign of what's happening in China right now, which is really just an economy in the state of collapse. M2 money supply continuing to grow, but again, that is just one number, and it doesn't really mean much if it doesn't get monetized. Chinese banks, again, nuan loans, also very representative of what we saw with the total social financing. It's just, you can see this downward trend. You can see how the lows were getting lower and lower and lower and lower. July 2024 was kind of the bottom. There's some hope maybe that we go up, but again, they've got a lot of problems where they're trying to save their currency, keep it strong, where they're trying to keep their bond market from unraveling, where they're trying to fire up real estate, which is just completely and utterly dead and devastated. And again, just get people interested in stocks. They can't do any of those things, though. Too many demographic problems. All they're going to do is fall apart. Jesse, are you into FNMA? I am, actually. I bought that. I haven't really talked about it. I don't know if I'm in a good position. I probably should at least pull up maybe Bill Ackman's post that got me interested in it. And somebody else, I don't know who it was, posted about it. And then I read through Bill Ackman's thesis, and I realized he's probably doing a trade on it. But it made a ton of sense. They're going to be jumping out of conservatorship, potentially. And if that happens, this thing has room to fly. So I'm actually in Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Bought those last week, I think on Friday. But they're up about, early in the morning on Friday, they're up about 11% on average since I purchased them. And the charts are really interesting for this. Let me just see if I can pull one up here. There we go. There's a Fannie Mae, I think. And the charts are really interesting for these because you could see what happened in 2007-8 when the great financial crisis started to happen. These things went into conservatorship. There were a lot of problems with them. Well, probably not really right away, but you could see that, again, the housing crash just destroyed these. And then since, they've tried to come back, but they've been in conservatorship. There's nothing really going on with them. But we're looking to essentially privatize them more. And I'll try and get a little more burst in it to where I can explain it better, especially after I have more coffee. But I do think the opportunity here is pretty large. If you look at where it was trading before, if we got anywhere close to like the 28-30 range, that is significantly higher than where we are right now. And this has already run a lot. Normally, I wouldn't play around with something like this, but I do, from what I've been reading, see that Trump is very interested, I believe, too, at least from his surrogates, and firing up the real estate markets again, and then again, getting these out of the hands of conservatorship. So that's a 420% increase, or more than a 5x from where we are right now, just to get back to the lower end, just this fib level over here. And then again, obviously, if it gets back to its previous highs, that would be a very positive thing with a 1,400% increase. Now, none of this is probably like, these are OTC. Yeah, these are over the counter. That's the only way you can trade them. So, but and so again, this is more of a longer term play for me. I didn't do anything with options. Again, I'm trying not to get too levered up. The only things I'm really levered up on are Tesla June 2026 calls, and then Bitcoin related items. That's it. And so that's all I'm really touching. Well, I can't say that's it because I got PayPal and RG too, but I've had those forever. And again, I'm looking to dial out of leverage this year. So I didn't want to get into more of it here, but I do like the potential for these to take off. And they just keep running. I mean, they were up 5% on Friday, almost 5% yesterday on average, I think, between the two. And then again, another 3% this morning. So I'm loving it. Yeah, AMD. I bought more AMD yesterday too. I love all these charts, guys. I am going to actually jump through a few of these charts because a lot of them look super bullish. If you're not Palantir, you're looking bullish. And again, just look at this. You got a falling, tightening wedge that we hit support on again, and we look like we're bouncing on AMD. And if it gets back above the .618, that's the golden retracement zone. And that all that tells you is that this is the zone where if you're going to see a reversal in trend, and this is being drawn out as a fib retracement, right? This is saying, hey, we found the top. How low can this thing go from where we were, back in 2023, up to where we hit the high? And you can see again this pattern, this falling tightening wedge, is a bullish pattern. Hey, thank you very much, man, Mahindra. I appreciate you, sir. Very much appreciate the tip. Let me know if you need anything. So again, this is a great looking trend. We probably want to get above the .618. That's around the 120 mark. If we get above that and we can get back into this other upward trend line, this tightening wedge too, tightening wedge. If we can get it back above that, and really we don't have to. I mean, this could just broaden out. What could be happening is really just this, right? Like it just, it's probably like this, and so sometimes these things will make little tiny shifts, and so it's technically still in the pattern. So if we bounce hard here, we're still in this. It just broadened a little bit, and then we could go higher. And if we get up around the 150 range again, I mean, this will be like the fourth major touch point, fourth major week of this. We're probably going to break above it. So AMD could do good. They just have to prove that their chips are great with inference and that they've got huge demand for it. And again, Meta's got massive contracts with these guys, and I think they're going to do well. There's a lot of chip demand. I don't see chip demand disappearing anytime soon. So this looks really good too. And the Bitcoin chart, we'll bring it up on the big screen super fast. I agree price target is 27 to 26. FNMA, so Kamawa says FNMA, future earnings looking good. I agree my price target is 27 to 26. 36, 27 to 36, that makes sense. Bearish, we are still not bullish enough on AMD, and then Dario, AMD looks like a flag pattern. Yeah, I think it all looks good. And we talked about this yesterday, guys. We said, hey, I think there's a strong chance that we can bounce, and for Bitcoin to bounce. And I think we're coming out of a position of strength. We just got to get above the fib, the golden retracement zone. And we did that. And now we're going higher. And this is a fib extension. This isn't a retracement. It's a little bit different because I don't think we're done yet. And I could have done a retracement just to show really short-term patterns, but whatever. This is really great. We were down in the 80s. We actually got down to 89,000 yesterday. And then overnight, we hit as high as 97,390. So, I mean, that's a pretty big, when you have an almost $10,000 move in 12 hours, 20 hours max, that's pretty good. And I'd say this does a good job countering this tweezer top that we had over here. And so really the pressure point now is going to be this 50 moving average in the 97,000s. And then I made a post, but we want to get above about 98.6. If we can get above 98.6, wow, you guys are insane. Thank you very much. VR Japan is shaming a country based on religion. If they have a point to share, it should be communicated. I'll have to see what's going on. Are people talking shit about worshiping cows is downward pressure on GDP? Yeah, don't say stupid shit like that. Don't say stuff like that, VR. I don't want to have to ban you. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. And India as a country these people are our friends, and we should be appreciative of them. It's not like they're trying to blow you up. So there's a difference between groups that are hostile towards Western values. And again, I'm not saying everybody who's Islamic is, okay? But when you have like radicals that want to kill you, that's one thing. When you have people that are your friends, you talk nicely to them. Thank you. BGZ, possible hedges for when we make a shitload of money this year. Yeah, we're going to be talking about a bunch of those. I'm trying to think through all of it because here's the deal. I don't want to get hedges prematurely. And I don't, because that's just a waste of money. You'll burn through them really quickly. And I want to make sure that I'm getting the right ones for what we're going to need. So, so yeah, we'll do better on that. And I'll get you more information as I have it. I'm just trying to think through all of it because again, I was thinking TLT a lot, but then also too TLT at a point of war, or if people are still worried about our financial status in our country, might not be very beneficial. And we can look at TLT real quick here. Let's just hop over to that and segue into it. BGZ said possible hedges for when. Oh yeah, that was yours. Okay. But yeah, so I am kind of trying to like create a list, but I think I'll have it a lot more fleshed out after Q1 when we've made some money. That list will be very fleshed out when Bitcoin gets to 150,000 because I think that's the time where it's going to be, smarter timing wise to get that list together and start to enter. So not heavily, but I mean, again, just starting to offset potential downside risks. I just didn't want to do it now because, again, just because other people are getting bearish doesn't mean it's time to be bearish. As I said before, extreme fear is the buy zone and extreme greed is the sell zone. And so I don't want people to be hedging too early. But as you can see here, again, I think I was too early calling TLT for a number of reasons. If we have to fire up the money printer, and again, Scott Bessent has talked about issuing longer dated treasuries, right? So those are going to be 10, 20, 30s, or I should say bonds instead of treasuries like Janet Yellen's been doing. So if he does that, we're going to see more printing. If we see more printing, the yield is going to go up because the demand isn't going to be high enough to manage the new supply. It's kind of the opposite problem that China's having, but it's in a good way because people are like, why the fuck would I buy a bond that's a 30-year bond when I can buy stocks and other investments that are going to do really good? So it's kind of a good problem to have. But what I think it might happen here is I think we might see TLT get down towards the 82 range, maybe even lower again, just to test, a lower point. And then I think that that's going to be a better point of entry. I'm actually thinking we might get as low as like maybe 80 right over here. I'm thinking we might get this low and then maybe wick up. And then I think that, and I don't even know if that's a good time to buy, especially at least not leaps, maybe just TLT for now. Because again, it could tread this way for, months or quarters. And if you know anything about leaps, you can lose, 20, 30% pretty easily with sideways chop, even if it doesn't go down versus what you're doing, a long call or whatever. So it could suck. It could suck still. And I did this. I actually think it could get worse than that, especially if we have war, because I did another chart. I showed it the other day where just showing war since like World War I, major wars that are impactful against the United States and how well they play out with the bond market. And the immediate impact is you see the yields go up like crazy in the bonds, and that would not be a good thing for anybody holding TLT. So I don't want a lot more of that downside. So right now I'm holding off. I'm holding off on hedges for that. I do want to show something else real quick here. I want to show some of the indices and how well they did yesterday. And we have about 7 minutes, guys, until we get our data points here. But this was exactly what we wanted to see. We literally talked about this yesterday. If you guys remember, we said, and let me fix something real quick here. I just got to I hate how I move this stuff out of the way and then it bugs the shit out of me because I can't see it the way my screens are positioned. But if you look over here, I'm going to turn this red. One of the things that's very interesting is we talked about this yesterday. We said, hey, this 100 moving average really going back since November 2023 has been support, right? And you can see even over here where it was kind of support. It wicked underneath, but whatever, it was kind of support. And but it's been support here. It's been support really here outside of an overshoot. And then it was support here. And then it didn't even make it to it here. And then we were underneath of it here. So when we're down here and we're going all the way back a year, it's pretty easy to say, hey, this is probably going to be a bounce zone. And so we kind of filled this volume gap over here, and then we bounced right above it, and then we closed the day above the 100 moving average, and now we're looking strong heading into today. So this is good price action heading into this PPI data. Now, if the PPI data fucks us, if it comes in stupid high, then we're going to be in trouble. But I don't think it's going to. We'll see. I don't think it's going to. I think we've had some seasonal stuff that's rolled over that's caused a lot of that. So I do think that's going to get better. Palantir, what's up, Adam? How you doing, bro? Maybe SQQQ in case markets drop, or just buy puts on your large gains. What is SQQQ? Is that, oh, that's the inverse of QQ. It depends. So when you're doing things like that, the problem is you're basically shorting the QQQ. The stuff I touch is way more volatile than the QQQ, so it wouldn't be the hedge I would need because it wouldn't give me the asymmetric upside versus the downside risk that I would be encountering. So I can't do that. I need something that's going to be a little more of a multiplier. All right, let's keep going here. Apology. All right, let me keep going. TLT's been destroyed. Yes, it has. Yes, it has. Good morning from Taiwan. What's up, JT? Palantir 3030, just to add to the, is TLTW gives a CC covered call strategy about 15% dividend and appreciation of NAV if TLT goes up. Yeah, that might be more interesting. I like TLTW to get income on downside protection while we wait. The NAV does not move 1-to-1 with TLT. Yeah, they rarely do. Marty Party thinks we might go to 5,500. Marty Party is all over the fucking place, man. He makes me laugh sometimes. I like him, but he's always like, after the fact, he's like, and I told you, I knew this all. So when you say like up and down, you stand a really good chance of being right. But I just want to say this. I think yesterday when I was listening to him, I don't know. I think the whole group, Invest Answers and the rest of that crew, were pretty bearish yesterday. Or just worried. They seemed worried about further downside risk. I was not. I don't know if anybody caught the stream yesterday. I was pretty confidently just like, skipping around, buying whatever the fuck I wanted, because I knew that there was a pretty good chance that we were going to be bouncing pretty hard today. And yesterday, and it turned out to be so. But I think again, it's one of those things where it's like a retracement like this is super healthy. We like these kind of retracements. It's what you want to see, and then it allows us to be able to continue to go higher, and that's what we want to do. So there's nothing wrong with this. I did want to speak to Palantir though. I'm still worried about it. And again, I'm not too worried. I'm like up to 400 shares now or something. So I'm slowly adding to my stack. So when I say worry, I mean my bias is for this to go lower. I want it to go lower because I want to stack more. So when I say this stuff, just remember that. But again, I did accurately call that that we had hit the top over here, and that we were going to roll over. And you can see really clearly once we started to go about here, it was game over for this, because it was like essentially almost a head and shoulder, an ugly looking pattern, but still nonetheless. And I don't love it this morning, guys. And I don't love it this morning because if we still zoom in really, really close, you got to get like super zoomed in to see it. You'll see that we actually are sitting right about here, which is not above this fib line. So if anything, what it feels like is like we got rejected off this fib, and now we're going to start rolling over again. And so again, I expect this to go lower. I'm still a buyer. I will increase my lot sizes. It wouldn't surprise me if I pass 1,000, 2,000, maybe 5,000 shares, especially if we get down to some of these lower levels. If we get down here, guys, if we get down here into the 40s, I'll be stacking pretty aggressively. And then there's an off chance that we could actually go down to here where we have really strong volume in this 37, 38. We would not get underneath this. I don't see how we'd get underneath that level. But again, closing this massive gap, this gap, guys, is all the way from 46 to 42. So that's a big one. And I know Palantir people don't want to hear this, and they've had it pretty good because I was wrong for so long. But the more times I'm wrong, it increases the likelihood that I'm going to be right in the future because I'm pretty good at this. So again, there's still, I mean, there's potential. If it fills that gap, there's 35% downside, and that would probably suck for a lot of people that are Palantir bros. But things rotate. Rotation is perfectly normal, guys. It's healthy too. Jesse, can you take a look at Hood and Tesla? Yeah, we can do that. Tesla, again, Tesla has a good setup. I did a post about this a little bit earlier, but it was really great that we've got huge gaps over here. I don't know if we'll ever fill them. There's just too much macro and financial stuff going on for Tesla. Now it did jump a lot. So if you look, but I actually think this is good. If you look here, it ran up to the 50 on the 4-hour, and then got rejected, which is okay. This is such a massive impulse. This is like almost the three Wiseman pattern where you just got green, 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 and we're rejecting back. And I think it's good that we don't create another gap here. So if this thing even closed back down to like, or if it went down to 403 and then started bouncing up, I would think that that is a really positive pattern. But I like the fact that we got back above the fib so quickly here. We didn't even go down and touch the 50 moving average. We didn't go down and touch this previous area where we had trade action. We didn't close this like pretty large like volume wasteland over here. It wasn't a gap in the daily, but it's just kind of, there's no volume here. So if we do go down, I mean, I would think we go down to 360. But I think there's fundamentally too many positives right now for Tesla to go much lower than it is. And if we go up from where we are, it's about 20% just to get to the all-time high. So if you've got leaps, I dialed back into my leaps, that could end up doing really, really well. Let's keep going here. Dario says, I'm going to follow Jesse. I've already noticed that you enter at the right time and exit at the right time. I try to. I'm not perfect. I'm just a normal person. I just have been doing this a long time, and I try to get really good at it. And while I'm reading chat here, I'm going to jump over to Hood. Oh, hey, we do have the data, guys. Let's jump to that real quick. We do have data coming. All right, so we'll let this optimism index was 105. These are pretty all over the place, but that's positive. That's a really big leap. We'll just pop it up here while we wait on the PPI. I mean, look at this leap, guys. Look at this leap in optimism after Trump got elected. It's off the charts. Monkey Copter says, what's your view on Rocket Lab? I don't like rocket companies that aren't SpaceX. That's just me. I don't like quantum computing. I've tried to tell people to stay away from it. Mitt, would you consider leaps on Palantir at this point, Jesse? No. I would consider them in the 30s and 40s for sure. I think then I think Palantir actually becomes a hedge for war. So I would in those ranges, yeah. PPI soft. That's a great answer. 0.2% month over month versus 0.3. Core month over month 0% versus 0.2. Core PPI year over year 3.5 versus 3.8 consensus and 3.5. That's good. X food, energy, and trade for year over year is 3.6. They expected 3.6 or 3.3. They expected 3.6. Bitcoin's rocking. I think we're getting above that peak volume in a little bit here, guys. This is fucking great. This is exactly what we wanted, guys. This is exactly what we wanted. Everybody who bought yesterday, when we talked about buying, get ready to reap some rewards today. It's going to look real fucking nice. Hey, invest with Meh. I really like your work on X. Who are we talking to? Invest with Meh. That's literally his name. Okay. Hey, what's up, bud? I hope Palantir goes to 45. It'd be very healthy. I think it'll allow a lot of people who got out of the stock early or who weren't in it to begin with, the ability to be able to get back in, and that's always good. You want to get people going like, oh, I fucked up. I should own some. I know I did. I wish I would have held it longer, but this gives us an opportunity. And now I've got how much in here? I mean, it's probably more today. Is Palantir going up off this news? 67, so it's trying to get above that fib, so that could be good. But I got 26,000 on this, down about 7%. It says, but again, if it goes lower, if it is the weaker, and even if it just chops, and I make a bunch of money off of other things, it'll be a good entry. I want to see. I don't know if our boy.
Jumping back to the 3-point fight.
Let's see what Rick has to say, huh? Gotta listen to our boy Rick.
We're just seconds away from December producer price inflation. I'm looking for
good day,
a clock.
guys.
Okay,
Good day.
We got a little
Get
bit
ready to make money.
Of time before we get to Rick Santelli. There are the futures right now. They have moderated a little, and all could change.
Oh, J.P. Morgan increased their price target?
In about 8.5 seconds. Rick is standing by at the
60.
CME
No shit.
in Chicago. Rick, the numbers, please.
Yes, our December read for the producer price index, the wholesale side of inflation, expecting a headline number up 0.4, cut it in half, up 0.2, up 0.2, much lower than expected. It equals where we were in September. To find a lower number, you're going to July of last year when it was unchanged. You strip out food and energy.
Anybody have that link for
also on
JP
the
Morgan and
cool
Palantir?
side, unchanged. We're expecting a number closer to up 0.3. Unchanged. You have to go back to July of last year again to get a lower number at minus 1/10. Now, if we look at ex-food, energy, and trade, up 1/10, less than the 0.3 expected. You have to go back quite a ways. You're going all the way back on 1/10 to equal November of last year, September of last year, but to find a lower number, you have to go all the way back to May of 23. May of 23. Now, take a step back. We're going to do the year-over-year numbers. Year-over-year headline or final demand expected up close to 3.8. It comes in at 3.5. 3.5, though, in this case, it follows 3%, and it is definitely 3.3 is a little warmer than the real.
Oh, fuck, I hate it when I click that button. If I click on the wrong spot on the screen, it fucks it all up. I'll probably just we'll let him finish his thought, and then we'll.
Weakness here based on the numbers we're seeing pushing interest rates down, and there has been a last-minute revision I'm catching, and maybe there'll be some more trickling in, but the ex-food and energy year-over-year,
oh, that's
our
a week
last
old.
look of 3.4
right, cool.
Gets upgraded to 3.5.
The PPI could help
the
them,
current look. Pre-opening equities certainly did love this, and it really goes a long way to explain one of the issues that equities have been bugged by, and that, of course, is higher interest rates. Joe, back to you.
Hey, do you guys remember when somebody was talking about how the fact that this inflation narrative is complete bullshit and how you should look past it because it'll turn around and it will be more positive, and then it'll, instead of being a headwind, it'll turn into a tailwind? Does anybody remember that? Anybody remember that? If there's this guy, he's pretty smart at what he does. I remember him talking about it. I think it was, I don't remember his name.
Yeah, big move in that arena too. Let's get to Rick. Steve Leisman joins us now.
No, dude, Biden. I want to be very clear. Monkey copter. No. Let's back up the truck here. He goes, seriously though, you can think of Biden about what you want, but he leaves office with an economy in very good state. Hope Trump doesn't fuck it up. That is the stupidest shit I have heard today. Just to be clear, that's the dumbest fucking thing I've heard today. Biden did not leave us in good shape. Janet Yellen juiced the market with massive amounts of liquidity in order to keep things chugging along. I post about this stuff all the time. And now she's left us in a detriment because we have $7 to $8 trillion that we have to refinance when yields are really high by the end of this year. That completely fucks us. And then the Fed, what's the Fed been doing? They've ran down the RRP, the reverse repo market, down to nothing now. They had the bank term funding program that is now gone. And so all they've done is just spend the money that taxpayers have to pay into the fucking system with very little in return, with very low efficiency, and juicing a bunch of numbers to make it look like jobs were way better than they were for the last year and a half. Just tons of shit that is complete bullshit. That is a narrative. It is in no way the fucking truth. So don't say stuff like that on my page. You will get blocked. This is me just giving you a warning, okay? Because that's not fucking reality, bro. So you need to dig deeper. You need to maybe look at some of my posts if you want to find what's real. But he did not leave us in a good place. The guy has fucking dementia. We don't even know who's been running the country. Okay, it wasn't him. He just got done saying that the border got better after he became president, which is a complete and utter lie. But I think he believes that because I don't actually think he knows where the fuck he is. Okay, so please don't say that Biden left us in a good shape. That is in no way reality. And I get how mainstream media would tell people that, and they would believe it if that's what they look at for news and information. Yeah, just don't say stupid shit like that. Just don't say stupid shit like that. Okay? Don't do it. He didn't leave us in a good position. Doge will put us in a good position. Trump won't fuck it up. Elon Musk and this team that they have will do a really good job at creating efficiencies. Because like Elon Musk said, if you literally, it's like being in a room full of targets. You could throw one and do a better fucking job. So don't say stupid shit in my chat. You will be blocked. All right. The border, yeah, he said the border got better after he became president. He just said that yesterday. And it's like, what the fuck are you talking about? If by better you mean letting in criminals and letting 3 to 4x the volumes in some cases each month come across the border and then shipping people across the fucking border. Yeah, it's fucking insane. It's insane. Even one of the guys that was caught with like a torch in California that they ended up letting go. He had like a butane torch or some shit. That guy was an illegal alien that wasn't even supposed to fucking be here. And from what I saw, and I never saw corrections. Let me know, guys, if there were actual corrections for this. But he had 5 fucking cell phones and a UN prepaid card. There's so much weird shit that's been happening with our border and illegal immigration. It's insane. All of our enemies, if they basically wanted to come across the border and rape and pillage, could. And when you look back at September 11th, where terrorists were able to get into this country and do horrible things to our people, and then you look at the administration of Joe Biden or whoever the fuck ran the government for the last 4 years, and communist Kamala Harris, and you look at what they did over that 4-year time frame, it was like a middle finger to everybody who lost somebody on September 11th. Because they're like, you know what? Let all the fucking terrorists and all the people that hate this country cross the border and rape and pillage and do whatever the fuck they want. God, people piss me off when they say stupid shit like that. Anyway, all right. All right, fuck you. You're gone. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. I'm going to find this guy too. He's gone from chat. And I'm going to find this asshole on X too, and he's gone on there. Monkey copter. Let's get rid of this piece of shit. I gave him a chance. All right, if you guys know that guy's handle on X, let me know. He's fucking gone. Oh, let me see if I can find him here. Fuck that guy. If I could literally prevent him from watching my shows, I would do it. Nope, can't find him. All right, whatever. If I find him on X, I'll get rid of him there too. Piece of shit. All right, anyway, moving on. Moving on. The PPI print is great, guys. There's a lot of really great stuff happening right now. Matthew Purdy, see his interview asking Kamala to fire away. Yeah, oh yeah. He made a joke, and then he said, yeah, he made his little joke about fire. Yeah, he's fucking insane. He literally has dementia. My wife told me that for years, but I voted for him, so I ignored it. And then eventually I found the truth. God, people like that piss me off. Say what you want about Joe Biden, but he really left us in a great place. What a fucking moron. God, stupid fucking shit. It's like you can't even look at real numbers and figure out what the truth is. Good luck with your investment portfolio. Yeah, Hood, sorry. Let's get back to Hood. Jesus Christ. Jesse, do you normally talk about selling covered? No, I never touch it. I don't care about coverage. I keep things really, really simple. I buy them and hold them. I buy leaps if I see an asymmetric bet or if I see an opportunity to hedge against something. I rarely short, but if I do a long put. I keep it very simple. I'm a simple man. I only have so many brain cells. All right, so, I mean, Hood looks great. This is a great consolidation pattern on Hood. You can't even, I mean, it barely even had any fucking weakness. And if you look over here, it's almost really like a bull flag because we couldn't even stay underneath of here for any period of time. And now we look like we're going to go higher. I mean, Hood is an easy chart. It's like it's going up. And again, once we break past the 44 range, I mean, the next range, guys, is really in the 80s, back where we had our all-time high. So it's between like 85 and 89. That's my target on Hood. So I think that's a pretty good zone. Lord Esteth, hey Jesse, I remember you being anti-Trump and pro-Vivek. Then yeah, I was. I didn't like Trump at all. But a lot of things changed in my mind for Trump because, again, you have to realize I came from a world where all I did was listen to mainstream media. X didn't exist. And as we know from the Twitter files, because of Elon Musk purchasing X, everything was being censored. Harvard doctors, Stanford doctors that were experts in their field, they were being censored and removed off of social media sites by the feds and other areas of the government that didn't like what they had to say, even though it was the fucking truth. And so we were getting lied to over and over again about what was reality. And I was eating all that shit up and believing it. And so I thought Trump was a really horrible person. He's not very well spoken a lot of the time, but I thought he was a really bad person. Now looking back at it, though, he was right on so much of what he was talking about. And don't get me wrong, there's some things where he's off basis still today, but I don't care, okay? I don't care, because the team that he has behind him is wonderful. They're brilliant people. They're very, very smart. They're good at what they do. You literally have like Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy. Again, Vivek Ramaswamy was somebody who I liked a lot. I thought he was brilliant. I loved his views on China being the biggest threat that we have in front of us right now. I thought, hey, this is the guy. But look, what did Trump do? He took somebody that he was competing against, and he's like, "You're brilliant. I agree. We need to have you on the Department of Government Efficiency with my new friend Elon Musk so that you guys can clean house." And then Robert F. Kennedy, again, he aligned Democrats. All these, like Elon Musk, Democrat. Robert F. Kennedy, Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard, Democrat. Shanahan, Democrat. All these people, even Trump himself was a Democrat at one point, but they all aligned together because they could see how insane the left had become. Whether you're just looking at governance, irregardless of political opinions, governance, not open borders, all this bullshit from the World Economic Forum, and he was against that, and he was fighting against it, and he was assembling, I believe, the greatest team that any president has had in history. And so I am stupid excited about what's happening right now, and I think it's good that we're getting rid of, the Dementia Joe. And I'm so happy that we didn't let Communist Harris take the reins, because she literally, her dad taught Marxism and communism in university. She pretended to be black, even though she's really Indian. And she said nothing and spewed hate when Trump was like, "We're going to make this country great again. We're going to make us a manufacturing powerhouse. We're going to do all these great things." And that's what he's doing. And he's doing this stuff before he even gets into office. And again, I love his team. And I say this, guys, I get so excited about this stuff because I've done the research. Okay. I've been on all the sides. This is the path forward. This is the highest chance of success America has had in a very, very long time. We're looking at people that could actually get us on the right track and balance the budget. Taxing unrealized gains was absurdity, but that's something they were trying to work their way towards. And if you want to see how that stuff is working out, just look at Great Britain, guys. Outside of China, they had the most massive amount of outflow of millionaires in the country. I can't remember what the exact number is, but it was huge. It was like 9,900 millionaires that left the UK in 2024. It was a big number. So if you want to see what communism and like authoritarianism and all these things do, simply look at a chart like that. It tells you a lot. I want to segue into this real quick. Super fast. U.S. economy. Let me see. I think it's in here. I think I saved it in here. Let me see if I can find it real quick. There's just some really good charts in here. I might have to refresh. I hate the way these bookmarks work. Rich Wallace, delusional progressive liberals have caused so much damage and continue to do so in the UK. I wish, dude, the UK is in so much trouble. And maybe I might have that under like geopolitics or even China. Let me go down to that. Got it in here somewhere. But let me just see if I can find, there's some great charts. I wish these bookmarks worked better. I wish they worked better. It'd be so nice. Let me check China. Maybe I have it down here. Renminbi falling apart, bonds, yada, yada, yada. Nope, not there. Will be leaving the UK myself when I get close to 1 million. Yeah, it's just a rough place to live. Your costs are only going to go up. There's just so much wrong with the UK. It's really sad, man. It's sad. It's like, this is a great place where it should be a lot better than it is. And it's just, It's falling apart. You know what? We'll do this real quick. I'm not finding the chart. I'm sure I'll stumble across it. So I said this yesterday, and it's hard. Some of these YouTube videos, they don't come across because
Hi,
X is
welcome
trying
back
to
Joe
get
Blogs.
X is trying to get people to. Oh, I didn't want to do that. 1 second. Let me fix this. So this is Joe Blogs. He's actually great. He looks at economies around the world, and he talks to like the demographic challenges and things that they have. He was talking about the UK pound crashing, and there might even be some good charts in here. Let me see if I can find them. Bottom of the pack, the pound is 2025's worst performing major currency versus the dollar. Ouch. 2 days of the history books. So yeah, again, if you go back through history here and you look at some of the worst days for the British pound versus the dollar, the 8th and the 9th were some of the worst in history going back through the 2016 range. Insanity. It's just plummeting. And do you think this is going to get any better? Our boy, look at this balance of trade, guys. Look how horrific this is. And it's just getting worse. The UK has so many problems. GDP growth is non-existent. The flight of millionaires out of the country is just like, but this was a great post. And all I said in here was that as the pound collapses and as other currencies lose value against the dollar wrecking ball, Trump gains more power. And I want you guys to understand that he gains more power over these countries as he just destroys their currencies. And Great Britain is probably going to be a canary in the coal mine in regard to that. All right, Eric Dougherty says Trump met with Senator John Fetterman, the Democrat. They're already calling this guy a turncoat and saying horrific things about him. He had a stroke years ago, but he's the Democratic senator from Pennsylvania. But he went to Mar-a-Lago and he said, it said Trump, it was totally fascinating. He's a fascinating man, and his wife is lovely. I couldn't be more impressed. He said he's a common sense person. He's not a liberal or a conservative, which is beautiful. So the relationship between John Fetterman and Trump is starting to grow. And I think this is doing something similar to what we're starting to see with the Labour Party, where a lot of people in the Labour Party in the UK that were against investigating these rape gangs are starting to flip. I think John Fetterman is the version of that in the United States in regard to liberals and just their willingness, I think, in the not too distant future to work more with Trump as they realize that that is really the political card they should be playing. So I think we're going to see more of that in the future. And then you have people like Governor Ron DeSantis that just said that he might fire certain public officials who don't obey Trump's deportation rulings. So you got California trying to figure out how they can pay the medical insurance in all these bills that are vastly more expensive than what they've been spending on their fire departments and these other facilities and reservoirs and other stuff. They want to make sure that they're still funding as many illegal immigrants as possible for their medical insurance and housing and all this other stuff. It's just crazy. But then on the opposite end of that, you got Florida saying, hey, we're gonna be one of the best advocates for Trump's policies, and we're going to make those things happen. And I think that's the right move, and I think it's going to end up paying off really well for Florida and Texas and other places that are like it. Yeah, I think that's it. We got that was that for that part. Let's go to U.S. economy real quick. I might see some of the things that I'm looking for in here. I wish these bookmarks were better. I've got to make them better. Rick Ryder, BlackRock's head of global allocation, said, would 100% buy the dip in tech stocks. Is this a trap? No, it's not. Rick Ryder's great. And he was right. He was right to buy the dip. Investing.com said just in, Donald Trump's economic team is discussing gradually ramping up tariffs to help avoid a spike in inflation. So Trump's going to come at him with a big stick talking about 25% tariffs. But this is really smart. So what they're talking about is having a progressive program where it ramps and it ramps and it ramps for the tariffs until countries like China and other ones that we're, fighting with come to the table with us. And that's a really smart thing because it prevents inflation shock right away. But then at the same time, it makes them do what we want to do, have them do. Mario Nawfal said, breaking, House GOP pushes bill for Trump to buy Greenland. If you guys think this is a joke, we want control of the Panama Canal again, and we want Greenland. Those are our two major objectives. And then we want Canada to bend a knee to our policies. And all of those things are going to happen, whether you like the Republican administration or not. They will make these things happen. I'm just telling you this. I told you guys Trump was going to win. I told you he was going to crush it. And what did he do? Again, I'm pretty good at this because I do the research. But it says House Republicans allegedly will introduce legislation to give the Trump green light to negotiate the purchase of Greenland. I think that's exactly happening. This is from Axios. It says GOP lawmakers argue the island's strategic value and vast resource make it a smart investment. We need the rare earth elements that are coming from it, and we're going to get them. This is the future, guys. Whether you like it or not, this is what's coming. Look down here. What is this? America, America. First post down here from Elon Musk. If you don't think that's what's coming, I don't know, man. You don't know Elon Musk very well. And again, we talked about this. This is Chris Patel, but this is a guy who I beat a bet, $1,000 bet against. He was saying that Donald Trump wasn't going to win, even though he's, conservative in nature. He thought he wasn't going to win because he was believing a bunch of sources that weren't accurate and didn't have the right numbers. And we did. But U.S. dollar index, look at the wrecking ball and how much it's crushing all these countries. The Brazilian real, the ruble. The reason why Nubank is doing so bad is because the Brazilian real was collapsing. It's getting better now. But again, lots of pressure that has been applied. Real quickly, I want to jump back over here. I want to just show this IFB optimism index again, guys. This is insane. Look at this. This is going back 5 years. We have the highest level of optimism we have seen in over 5 years. How far back does it go? 2018. 2018. I'm sure that's nothing. Can you guys see how that's nothing? That we're the most optimistic we've been since 2018? Probably no signal there at all. Don't even worry about it, guys. Don't even worry about it. We just have business optimism skyrocketing. Not because Biden won or Kamala Harris won the presidency or Biden did a good job over the last 4 years, but because people are excited that real business people are running this country right now. I got to post this real quick. Sorry. And what is that? 2018. So that's 7 years. Let's do the eyes. Do the eyes. Do one of these. If you guys could like that, that would be helpful. I want people to know the truth. They need to know the truth. They don't need to be like that one dipshit, whoever I blocked. I can't even remember his fucking name. I already forgot about you. All right. Yeah, so income sharks. My favorite stat about the S&P 500 is that every time it drops 5% on average, it returns 12%. Time to go bear hunting. Yes, brother. Cross-border Capital said, how much cheating, not QE, and not yield curve control was going on in 2024 to bolster the markets with hidden liquidity ahead of the November election? Again, this is the shit I was talking about, right? Just a small amount, almost 6 trillion. Just almost 6 trillion in 2024. Look at these numbers. Look at this. Look at these numbers and peaks on what we were pushing. So they were trying to pump the economy. It eventually started to taper off because they were running out of the tools that they had. So again, they were running out of the reverse repo market. They were running out of the ability to issue a ton of short-dated treasuries that banks gobble up. They were running out of the things that they could do to keep yields down. They were running out of the bank term funding program. This is what they've left us with. They've left us with a fucking time bomb. That's the reality of it. This is data. It does not lie to you unless it's being issued by the federal government. All right. Richmond, the McClellan said we were bouncing. There were so many things. I warned you guys. I told you that this was coming. Let me see if there's anything else good in here. I want to see if there's that other chart. Look at this, TLT. Look at this, guys. Record-breaking. A popular bond tracking ETF, TLT, has posted a record $7.4 billion in net outflows over the last 2 months. This doesn't scream that people are excited right now. You're welcome, man, Mahindra. Very, very happy to help in whatever way I can. This isn't screaming that people are excited about the bond market yet. If they trust us and they trust our debts, then that will change very, very quickly. But for now, it does not. DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency. Elon Musk said slow strangulation by overregulation. This is from DOGE. It says federal regulations cost Americans $1.9 trillion each year. If this regulatory cost was a country, it would be the 12th largest economy in the world. We have to fix this. This is some of the waste. This is just the regulatory waste. This isn't all the people that are sitting at home that don't do shit, that work for the federal government outside of, coloring their hair purple and trying to go after Donald Trump on social media. That's not even including all this bullshit. So think about how much waste we can fix. Think about it real quickly. Also, there's stuff we need to talk about with banking because bank earnings, I think, are going to pop, and we need to talk about that. That's another thing that we need to go over. But Elon said, the massive federal bureaucracy and unconstitutional fourth branch of government will do everything possible to thwart the will of the people. So this is from Leading Report, and it says, breaking, 80% of federal government managers who voted for Harris said they will resist efforts of the Trump administration, while just 1% said they will somewhat support him. I've got an idea. Fire all these bitches. Purge them. This is a great way to find the list of people you want to purge. If they stand in your fucking way, fire them. Fire them. And those people, if these people here don't work with you to implement the policies, then everybody that doesn't work with you and that goes against you, no fucking severance. No 2 years of severance. Get rid of them. Get rid of them now. Do that to the worst obstructionists and see how quickly the rest fall in line so they can get their 2 fucking years of paychecks. It'll happen super fast. Trust me. All right. Warren Redlick. Oh no, he's hiring smart people who work hard. He must be stopped. This is Bernie Sanders. I don't know who runs his social media, but this is disgusting. I used to like Bernie Sanders, but I'm really starting to not like him. He said Musk is hiring super high IQ, small government revolutionaries for Doge. What kind of world are Musk and these superhumans trying to create for us mere mortals? Do they believe that all of us deserve quality healthcare, education, and housing, or is this just for billionaires? Fuck you. If that's from Bernie, fuck you. Goodbye. Never voting for anything you talk about again. So, but again, all this waste, guys, U.S. government fiscal first quarter numbers are in October 1st through December 31st of 2024. Revenue down by 2% from previous year, spending up by 6% from previous year. Budget deficit, $710 billion. The U.S. government revenue was $1 trillion plus, and the U.S. government spent almost 1.8. This is utterly unsustainable. Utterly. All right, let's keep going. Hippie Hank, what are you talking about? Since Trump was president, what are you talking about? Nairo says, feels like 2025 is going to be the year SoFi really hits next. Oh, dude, totally. Let's get into that super fast before we get into Bitcoin. And you know what? I'll just pull up FactSet. I wrote a post about this, but we'll just go to FactSet. This is a great post when you're talking about earnings, guys. So if you look here, they're showing S&P 500 financial sectors Q4 2024 industry earnings growth year by year. Look at banks. Look at banking-related growth. It's sick. And again, this is tons of this in Q4, so we'll get those numbers. And then it dropped. We're going to see financial earnings growth projections drop heading into Q1, maybe getting lower into Q2 2025, and then starting to ramp up again. But these are good. If you have projections where you can show that you're hitting a trough and then you're going back up, that's great. And at least these earnings are going to be sick. We'll see what forward projections are for a lot of these banks, but this is really good stuff. This is really good stuff. I like it. I can't wait to see it. Let's go back here real quick. And thank you guys again for getting me to 79,000 on X and almost 20,000 on YouTube. I really do appreciate it. Let's go on. So yeah, all I said here was that we just want to get above, peak volumes on the fib, and those levels I think are right around 98. And so or peak volumes, I'm sorry, on the visible range volume profile, and I think that's coming. Ben Workman just showed again how this number with the latest purchases got incrementally better as far as Bitcoin held on MicroStrategy's treasury. And as you guys know, end of Q1, Q2 reporting numbers for MicroStrategy should look pretty sick. Definitely doing an earnings call for MicroStrategy when they come out. Bitcoin Magazine just in $11.5 trillion. BlackRock says that Bitcoin and crypto adoption is outpacing the internet and mobile phones. Mobile phones took 21 years for heavy adoption, time needed to achieve 300 million users. Internet took 15, crypto took 12. And I don't like how they just lump in crypto with Bitcoin, but whatever. Amelie said, breaking another loss for the SEC. The Third Court of Appeal rejected the SEC's appeal of Coinbase's request for clearer crypto rules. So again, they're losing. Manny, another 50. Are you insane? Thank you. That is 100 today, bro. So if you guys got gifted a membership, you can talk and chat and you can ask questions. Optimism chart was just saying it was the highest one. Oh yeah, totally hippie. Yeah, exactly. It's sick. It's sick. It's going to be really exciting. But yeah, the SEC lost again. We like that, right? Bitcoin Magazine just in 11.5. Oh yeah, this is a different article though. BlackRock launches its Bitcoin ETF on CBOE Canada. This was yesterday. Another path for inflows. Bitcoin Magazine, just in Hong Kong-based company Mingxing Group, bought 500 Bitcoin for $47 million. This was on January 13th. I'm sure that it's nothing, right? They just bought more than an entire day's supply. One company on Earth bought up all the new Bitcoin that was issued yesterday. And they weren't the only ones, right? Bitcoin Magazine, just in corporate demand for Bitcoin is already outpacing new Bitcoin supply this year. Bullish. So what this says, again, corporate purchases have outweighed new supply in 2025. So just the companies, not the countries, not the individuals, not states, not government, yeah. Again, I think I already said this, but countries around the world adding to a strategic reserve. Just corporations have bought up all the supply of Bitcoin this year. Donald Trump's inauguration will include a crypto ball with technology industry leaders celebrating him as the first crypto president. Michael Saylor is going to be at that one. I would like to go to that, but I think it's going to be packed and oversubscribed. It's $2,500 per person. Watcher.guru, just in, U.S. court demands SEC explain itself for denying Coinbase request for crypto-specific regulations. There will be hell to pay Gary Gensler. There will be hell. Bitcoin Archive. Trump is about to eliminate the last barrier to the $5 million Bitcoin, repealing SAB 121 so banks can custody Bitcoin. This looks like a day one action, guys. And if you just look here, Michael Saylor said there's a reason why Michael Saylor started buying so aggressively with his Bitcoin after he found out Trump was going to be the president. Because he said for a long time, we need a spot Bitcoin ETF approval. We need fair accounting, the new FASB accounting rules to come into effect. And then we need the ability for banks to custody and lend against Bitcoin as collateral. And that is going to happen now that we have an SEC that isn't anti all of these things. So really big stuff coming, guys. And again, New Hampshire, this is a little bit older on the 10th, is in North Dakota. We're introducing strategic Bitcoin reserve bills. The states will lead on this one, I think. Just in, U.S. courts demand SEC explain itself for, we already did that one. And again, Ethiopia making over $100 million mining Bitcoin with renewable energy that sometimes it's more energy than they have to distribute. So why wouldn't you do that? Tyler Casamente, people front ran good PPI trying to understand us not pumping right now. No. This is good. What do you mean not pumping right now? This is great. Our setup for the rest of the day is wonderful. We're in pre-market. I mean, the market hasn't even opened. It's 23 minutes from now. This is really, really good. I don't know if you guys heard this too. Pre-market's great, guys. Let's look here. Let's real quickly look at pre-market. We'll do the stock heat map for pre. So yesterday was devastating. It looked horrible. And this is where we ended up, which is amazing. And then today in pre-market, there's nothing bad about this. In pre-market, Tesla's up what does that say? 2.62%. 2.6% for Tesla in pre-market. This is not bad in any way. This is a beautiful sign. We want this. This is nice. All right, let's go back. See what else we got here for bookmarks. I think that's a lot of that. Let's see, altcoins. We'll just dial down the line here, and I'll start looking at chat more. Romeo says, thanks for the gift. Dude, man, he's amazing. Justin, I'm watching at 2x speed trying to catch up, and I just got to the part where Jesse popped off and blocked Monkey. Dude, say stupid shit, say goodbye. You know what I mean? Solana adoption is on fire, says Crypto Banner. Over 10 million unique active addresses for 8 weeks counting. I mean, just look at this, guys. Look at December. Look at December active addresses, near 2 million, and now we're 11 million. That's a 5x since last year. I think there's signal there. Cointelegraph just in, Solana outpaces Ethereum. This is from January 6th, based upon combined 24-hour DEX trading volumes. And again, January 6th, a number of companies have secured markets and crypto and asset licenses heading into this new year. And I think there's like 30 to 40 ETFs that might be launched over this next year. It's just crazy, guys. And again, just this bullshit here where you got Robinhood, where the SEC charged Robinhood with violating more than 10 security law provisions. Again, we don't go after the big guys that caused the issues with Robinhood to begin with during the whole meme stuff, but we go after Robinhood, the company that literally had their capital requirements raised while companies like Citadel were helping fund short interest against GME and GameStop. Just fascinating stuff. The SEC, Gary Gensler was evil. He was Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, and that motherfucker is gone. So say goodbye. All right, real quickly, I'm going to jump to AI chips. Emit had a great post that says NVIDIA is a company that tends not to be political. Of course, politics affects them just as much. And just saying that this statement was very political. They totally went after the Biden administration, saying that what they're doing is ineffective and just stupid, and it hurts our competitiveness. I don't know if all that's true, but there's probably some purpose to trying to prevent, again, AI chips from getting in China's hands. It's another position of power for us. We should use it. But I don't know if the way that it was orchestrated is going to be good or not. And it had no communication from anybody in the industry, which I think is stupid. And again, quantum yesterday, guys, was a bloodbath again. Ionic, guys. All these, like, again, 24% after 50% losses is painful. I know there's people that want to be like, oh, it's okay, dude, I got in so low. But the people that followed you into this got utterly fucked, right? Like, they got utterly fucked that came in later. And that's why I was talking against, quantum computing companies that have no financial value. And again, maybe it's up today. Let's see. Up 1.4%. Ouch. This one, Palantir, maybe Palantir starts going, right? Maybe Palantir runs. It deserves to. At least has fundamentals on its side, even though it's got a high forward PE and PE ratio, and even price to book to sales and all these things. But look here, this thing is underneath this fib now after dropping how much? And it could still go down. This one can still go down. So I hope people don't have a lot in these quantum stocks, because again, buying into something that has no real earnings, that has hopes and wishes and dreams, and that Jensen Huang just told you is 15 to 30 years from today, is probably not a good bet. I mean, they're even trying to do quantum computing, and if they're telling you it's 15 to 30 years away, it's probably not a good sign. This thing already dropped 52.58%, and to me, it looks weak. It wants to go down to at least the 20s, the 20 level. Right down here where you have this huge volume gap, and the .618 and the 100 moving average. So if you're even thinking about buying this thing, don't do it until its full drop from its recent high was at least 60%. I'd say like at least 62 to 63%. That's painful. That's painful. This wasn't even a month, guys. Painful. Tom Lee put Ionic on the Granny ETF. Yeah, I know. I think the reason he's doing that is it's a small cap, it's quantum computing. A $6 billion is still small to mid. But I wouldn't touch this stuff personally with a 10-foot pole. Again, you do you. You decide what level of risk you want on companies that don't have good financials. You guys do you. Can I take a look at CleanSpark? Heck yeah. CleanSpark looked great. Mara looked great. I bought a bunch of this stuff yesterday, guys. Again, this just looks like a bullish pennant. And it bounced off the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame, exactly where you wanted it. It's the 100, the 200. It looks like it wants to sail. It's up 4% in pre-market after being up 1%. The leaps are probably really going to take off in the days ahead. I think there's tons of upside here. Even just from yesterday where we were at, I think there's 193% upside and the next quarter roughly. And then from where we were yesterday for where I think that where I want to really de-risk heavily is between these two levels, between 200% and 300%, because the leaps I have should give me at least a 2x, potentially even higher because I bought some of them at a lower entry. Would I buy TMF? No, I wouldn't. I would get TLT, and then if anything, if TLT grinds sideways for a while, then I would look at really far out leaps for TLT, because TMF is what? Is that a 2x or a 3x fund? The underlying. And the thing that sucks is that when they do that, they're doing like shorter dated issuance. So you're with stuff like that, and again, even MicroStrategy, like MSTX isn't even a great option. MicroStrategy calls are probably better. They're just expensive, and a lot of people can't touch them. But TMF is, yeah, that's a 3x fund. So you're getting massive amounts of daily rebalancing, which acts as theta decay. And at the same time, they're doing shorter dated issuance to try and basically get the multiple that they're trying to achieve. So it's like worse. It's 3x, and it's way worse than holding on to long leaps, in my opinion. And so this thing could just butcher you, especially if I'm right that we end up going lower. Maybe this thing gets down to 32, or maybe it gets down into the 20s. So I personally don't like TMF. I don't like 3x funds, really. I would think TLT if you're interested, and I still think TLT can go lower. So I wouldn't go into leaps just yet, personally. That's my take. With Trump being in office, I think it's going to be positive, but I think the narrative could be negative over the short term for weeks and maybe even a month before a positive narrative builds up on TLT for it to go higher. Value Maxi, just to clarify, Ionic is not in the Tom Lee Graney ETF. It's in his SMID list. Okay. That's helpful. What is the SMID again, Danny? Just to be clear. And again, here, guys, this is why I don't like all of these plays. Ionic is probably one of the better ones versus some of these other companies that are quantum computing funds. But if you look here, just look at their revenue. At least their revenue is growing, 12.4 million. But look at this, though. When you make 12.4 million and it takes 52.5 million burn for net income, or free cash flow negative $80 million to make, so they burned 80 million in cash to make 12.4, right? That sucks. And again, their revenue is going to decline for Q4, but they're saying it's going to go up after that. But their EPS and EBIT and all this stuff is still super fucking negative. And if you look at activity, let's see what these guys have been doing. The biggest thing we have from shareholders is massive sales in Q4 of 2022. And then it's been relatively quiet. Institutional ownership isn't even growing on these things. Short interest is still high, albeit it's probably reduced here recently because the shorts probably made a ton of money. And so they're starting to dial out of their positions. But it's like, why would you get involved in a company that has operating leverage that looks like this? What are the fundamentals behind this, guys? What are the fundamentals around getting excited about somebody who has operating expenses of 59 million off of revenues of 12.4? What are the fundamentals? Can you guys tell me? Tell me. Either you have insider information or it's a pure gamble. I would at least be gambling with some kind of ETF if I was going to be touching this. Fuck, my screen just moved everything again. I hate it so much. I think it's because of my low memory utilization that my screens kind of flop around because I start swapping hard drive SSD for memory because it's maxing out, and it fucking sucks. It just moves all my shit. I hate it. Drives me nuts. Let's see what's my activity monitor say. Yeah, I'm swapping. So I'm burning through the hard drive trying to use it as memory. It's just fucking up my whole computer. Can't wait for the new one. That's coming next week. Maybe even the end of this one. But yeah, this is not a good bet, guys. This is not a good bet. Let's look at economic data. Do we have more coming out outside of this beautiful optimism index? What else did we have? We got Redbook at 755. That already happened. We got Fed Schmid speaking. I don't even know who that is. Redbook was 4%, so it was a little bit weaker for retail sales versus the previous. Let's just look at the trend on that. Look at the 5-year. So the 5-year, we got one of the weakest reads, 4%, going back to about March of 2024. So not as bad as what we were looking at for the sheer amount of optimism behind the optimism index. And again, I think this is going to get better. I think there were a lot of people front loading for retail sales. I think there were a lot of people front loading Christmas. It doesn't really, I don't find it crazy that we're seeing a little bit of a drop off in the beginning of the year. That seasonally is probably pretty accurate too. We do have the RCM tip economic and economic optimism index coming at 905. I'll probably stick around for at least that. And then again, tomorrow's a big day, guys, because we get CPI. So we got PPI today, which is great because the producer price is being down, gives us a pretty good indication that CPI is probably going to come down too. And we like, again, Tom Lee's been talking it for a while. We have a bunch of seasonality. We have lodging that's going to be coming down. I'll do this tomorrow. I'll use Trueflation. I won't do it today, but tomorrow I'll use Trueflation to come up with more data points too, to kind of let you guys know what we're seeing from an inflationary standpoint. And again, I think some of Tom Lee's work with FS Insight is going to be updated then too. So I will be talking to you about that. AK says, Jesse, even if with rebalancing, do you think the levered plays like on Tesla, like TSLL, outpace the stock over the next year? TSLL is only a 1.5x, right? Again, these things aren't meant to be held for very long periods of time. So if you're talking about holding them for a year, I actually don't know if it does. I shouldn't say that. It could. It could do really, really well. And the reason it could do well is it's got dividends. It's only a this is a 2x. This is a 2x. So it's a 2x. But if the direction of Tesla is basically up, then this thing's going to look sick. You get this weird multiplier effect where the compounding to the upside is just like the burn to the down. Even with rebalancing and even with tracking errors, this thing could be really good. But when the momentum stops, you get absolutely fucked. As you can see up here, I mean, this thing was at in December 16th. So just a month ago, it was at 41.57, and it got as low as 23. So almost a 50% drop, 46% drop, in just a period of weeks. So when the music stops, watch out for options. Watch out for plays like this. Yeah, definitely. I asked Grok which commodity will be used the most in this upcoming AI and robotics revolution. Grok chose silver. Yeah, I don't like that. Did it say why? I would actually warn people against silver. China has massive stocks of silver, and they don't have a need for it. So you might want to ask Grok why. I would love to know the answer to why it thinks that. Because I was just watching something where it was talking about how silver is going to have weakness. I think it was even just FS Insight with Tom Lee talking about silver having potential weakness because of impacts in China. Or it was something. I don't know. I watch so much shit. It's hard to keep up. But yeah, let's see. Has Elon even said that he's about buying TikTok? It seems people are all speculating. No, I don't know that he would buy TikTok. I don't know why he would buy TikTok. And I think what would happen is they would just try and sell TikTok to somebody, and then there'll just be another Chinese site that will basically be TikTok again. That's how they work. So if something gets blocked, they're just going to reopen business, I think, again. That's my take. So I don't know why he would buy that, and I don't think he will buy it. I don't think at all. I don't see any rationale behind him buying TikTok. It doesn't make any sense. Let's see. Got people saying, hey. Oh, hey, if you guys could too, real quickly. We'll go into more stuff. But if you guys could go and to here. And again, like, comment, and share. Just commenting below is huge. It's like a 17.5x multiplier for this. I want to get a broader audience as we can. I want people to know the truth. There's a lot of great stuff out there. I don't want them to get caught up in stupid, negative things when the world is a beautiful, exciting place. We need more positivity. And this right now with Trump, like Chicken Genius was saying the other day, if you guys held through all the bullshit of the Biden administration and crypto, where they were literally trying to kill it, Operation Choke Point 2.0, and you held through all of that, and now you're jumping out when we've got the first pro-Bitcoin and crypto presidency in history, and you've got numerous states looking to pass legislation, and you got countries all around the world, and you got ETFs, and you got FASB accounting rule changes. You got all this positive stuff, and now you're looking to bail. I think you're going to regret that later on. I really do. Especially with all the CFOs. We saw the CFO reporting too. I posted that a couple of weeks ago, where chief financial officers for corporations around the United States are absolutely fucking excited about Donald Trump becoming the president of the United States, and for good reason. I love your streams. Thanks, man. Appreciate you, bro. Yeah, so that's just all good stuff. I want to see. I'm going to scroll down. I need to find. I don't know where these bookmarks went, but there's some bookmarks that I absolutely want to share. It has to do with the mapping of it's the stuff I was looking for earlier that I haven't found yet. Guys, look at this. This is Tesla FSD, highway miles to disengagement on FSD, greater than 500 highway miles reported total. Look at this. Look at the improvement between these other versions versus FSD 13.2. It's insane, guys. This is crazy. We'll look at that more in a second. And then Elon, I was so proud of him for this. He was literally hanging out with firefighters, talking to them, like, what can we do? How can we make this better? Tell us the materials, all this stuff. This was just really cool. On top of providing satellites and doing everything that he does. Lots of Tesla stuff to talk about here, but I want to keep going. What is this one? This is Trump is about to eliminate. Yeah, again, just eliminating barriers. The SAB 121. That's just going to be so great. We got Morgan Stanley raising the price target for Tesla to 800 in their bull case. Let me just see. Oh, and Tether guys is going to relocate to El Salvador. Crazy. Oh, this is the executive order, like early wins, talking about how Trump's going to do a bunch of things, like, again, the SAB 121 to help the industry. I think he's going to at least talk about a stockpile, if not the reserve. That's all good stuff. Let me see. So that was the major currencies. It's in here somewhere. I got to find it. It's so good. Okay. Wait. Here's one of them. This isn't the state one showing how everybody's leaving California and New York and these other places and going to states that have, that are meritocratic and like capitalism and freedom. But this shows where, again, the UK, I guess it was 9,500 millionaires left the country in 2024. That's devastating. India had 4,300. They've got their own issues. It's just, again, their currency is getting crushed and people are looking for a land of opportunity. And so a lot of them are leaving to the places like the US. Canada probably has a ton of people coming in from China. But one of the things that somebody pointed out, and I wanted to talk to, is BRICS, Brazil, losing a bunch of millionaires. The R in this, Russia, losing a bunch of millionaires. They actually look better now because they lost all theirs in 2022 and 2023. And then what's the I? India, losing a bunch of millionaires. What's the C? China, losing a bunch of millionaires. What's the S? South Africa, losing a bunch of millionaires. Basically, BRICS is trash. I've been saying this for years. Everybody is leaving these places. They're leaving Taiwan and Vietnam too, and South Korea. But I think a lot of that is risks. And again, we saw South Korea literally had their president try to overthrow the government. Weird shit going on there. But you can see how the countries that are threatened the most or that are a part of BRICS are just falling apart and everybody's running away from them. This will have massive impact on the financials and the GDPs of these countries. People that are playing with the West, people that appreciate democratic values, they're going to do really well. Countries that run away from this stuff are fucked. They're absolutely fucked. And you need to understand that. You need to understand that if you're going to do well. And again, I just put countries. So this was great. Doug said countries that will create a strategic Bitcoin reserve. And it just shows an Animaniacs cartoon showing that it's all of them. And he's 100% right. It's a very, very thoughtful post. He's 100% right. And people don't realize it. There's one other one. Let me see here if I can find it. And again, this one was pretty popular. 1,200 likes. It's this simple, guys. Buy, sell. At least from a large picture perspective. It's as simple as that. And let me see here if I can find this other one. It's so good. I want to see if I can find it for 2 seconds. It's the state level. And maybe I don't. Maybe I don't end up finding it and we just move on. That could be the truth. Yeah, I guess it is. All right, whatever. All right, let's get back to, it's 8:30. The market's going to open in 2 minutes. We'll get to that. Jesse, are there any pair trades that you keep an eye on, a rotation, like Tesla BTC, MSTR BTC? I'm starting to. I don't know if I think I added those to the Discord. If I didn't, let me know, guys, and I can get them added.
As we're going to do most of this week.
All right, I'm going to keep that muted for a second. We've got about 1.5 minutes until the bell. We'll turn that on in a second. Dang, even in Taiwan. Yeah, JT, I think the problem with Taiwan is they're just afraid. They're afraid of China attacking, and it's probably a warranted threat, right? Whereas Japan has tons of military bases and tons of support, and it would be dangerous for them to attack Japan. That could happen too, though. But they'll be a secondary target. So again, you got capital flight, just people trying to get away and be safer. Lowe's 94, Jesse, are there any pair trades? Oh no, that was you. Man Mahindra, non-aggression pact, basically. Okay, I might have missed some of what you guys were talking about. If you guys have anything you want me to look up, throw it out there. Theo, do we have any updates on the Silk Road BTC? Yeah, there's always going to be people that are concerned about that, but no, I don't think the Biden administration is going to dump that stuff heading into a new presidency. It would look pretty bad. Lowe's 94, Jesse, oh no, that was that one. Roman Z, do we have any videos where Musk talks about Bitcoin? Yeah, there are a bunch of old ones, but Musk doesn't care about Bitcoin. He actually thinks that it's an inefficient payment mechanism, and he's probably right. The Lightning Network has not caught on. It's not growing. So, yeah. Hood, 6%, up 5.33% for Hood in pre-market, guys. Let's actually look at pre-market really quick. We got 30 seconds. I'm at least going to get it up. Well, you know what? We'll just get ready. We'll do this. We'll get this watch list ready, and then we'll get over here ready for the bell.
Form does to the overall market or the TAM, Jim?
I think that there are people who say that business is not going to be able to excel if it just continues.
We'll look at open in a second.
Generally going to be an injection on the left side of your body, and people don't want to do that. I know there are numbers which say that there are people who give up on it because they don't like to have a needle. I would say that the pill form would eliminate most of the objections, but we got to hear from Mr. Ricks. He's got data.
Going to be one to watch.
All right, that's the bell. We're open. I'm just giving a little time for this to update over here. We can talk about a bunch of stuff, Fubo, all these others. We can go through them. BitDeer, up 8%. Move Index, that's the bond volatility index. We're actually seeing some uptick on that. I should probably look at bonds and see why that is. BITX, the 2X fund for Bitcoin, up. Iron, up 6.6%. Freddie Mac, up another 5% today. Fannie Mae, kind of following it. Let's let these refresh. MSTU, right at the top of the list now. Let's just resort here. Ionic, is this again? Is this more? No, this is from yesterday. Some of this hasn't fully updated. MSTX, my boy, up 9.37. If you guys were buying MSTX yesterday, congratulations. MSTU right up there too. BitDeer. Again, these are just bouncing around so quickly it's hard to keep up. But yeah, Iron up 8%, guys, on Iron. Cypher up 7.5. Hood up 6.7%. That's why we've been buying Hood. Hut up 6.6, BitDeer up 5.64, CleanSpark up 5.14, Bit Digital up 5%. So a lot of the smaller Bitcoin miners, guys, the ones with the lighter cap, they're going up the most right now. That totally makes sense. MicroStrategy, like a rocket ship, up 5% on the day. Coin up, Injective, Riot, Mara up 4%. All of this stuff is looking good today, guys. Palantir even up 2.95%. We'll see if it can hold. This is the one where, again, it could underperform. Ionic up 3.2, or make that 2.8. Again, it can definitely underperform. Bitfarm's only up 2%. Glad I got rid of that one. Not going to lie. And that can still go, but I'm still glad I got out of it. Baba's up today, guys. That's interesting. Shanghai Composites up today. That's interesting, too. NVIDIA up 1.52, SoFi up 1.41, ARCG up 1.39. I think these will start to play out too. I'm very excited to see some pops in those. Not a bad day. Let's see what's not working today. Let's sort the other direction and see what's not working today. Shorting Bitcoin isn't working. Volatility isn't working. Meta isn't working. US oil isn't working. Yay, we call the top on that one. Best Buy isn't working. Atom isn't working. TLT isn't working. Shock. again, we're going to get our entry on TLT, guys. We're just going to try and do it at the right time. Let me get back over here. Got a little bounce. Got a little bounce out of there. Let's see. Google isn't working too good today. Dollar's kind of flat now, so that's continuing to drop. Gold isn't jumping too much today, or at least the ETF. This is good. This is good. New, I like new. I still own some new, but I worry about the Brazilian real. Additional pressure, and again, this whole BRICS falling apart thing could definitely apply more downward pressure to this. All right, so you guys asked for some other ones. Let's look here. What do we got? TMDX. Hood we already showed. Hood's disgusting. It looks beautiful. Let's go to TMDX and see what we have there. I do believe I have this one. TMDX. If you guys have any news, throw it in chat, as we usually do. Get it out there. That way I can follow it. And I still don't have my restream coming up because of technical issues. When I get my new computer, I'll try and tackle them. I'm just assuming that they're related to them right now. TMDX, it looks like this one got beat pretty good. It's under the .618, but it's trying to get above it. It did find temporary support, at least on the 200 moving average on the weekly. And again, it's been grinding along since October 21st. It's been grinding along here from an RSI perspective. That's a long time. So that is kind of a mild level of bullish divergence that you're finding. Because if we look over here where it dropped, it's like over here. So even as this was going down, it was starting to find a bottom on the RSI on the weekly time frame. So that could be good. I'm going to look at the fundamentals of the company real quick, though. Because again, I don't give any financial advice, but I definitely don't like to talk positively based on technicals when the financials are not good. This one has a forward PE of 50, so you're definitely paying a premium on it. Perplexity CEO Aravind is going to Trump's inauguration. I love him so much. The Perplexity CEO is one of the most brilliant people I've listened to in the short term. I very much like him. Again, so just looking over here, activity, let's look at the extended view. We do see institutional ownership increasing. We see massive amounts of short interest. 28% is not a small number of short interest. We don't see any buying and selling for a while. Last thing we saw was selling in Q2 of 2019. That is a long time ago. Sentiment for these. Neutral on stock twits. I don't know that I care about them. Definitely ramping up on social media interest. X doesn't appear to be too much. Let's go to the longer view, though. So again, we had kind of a ramp in December, a ramp in October, and now we're starting to see a ramp again. But we're definitely seeing interest here. News sentiment is very bearish. Sometimes that can be really good. Analyst sentiment is very bullish. Earnings call sentiment is just bullish. And again, their estimates going forward, we are seeing an increase. We saw a little bit of tapering off. It looks like into this quarter, and then they say they're ramping up. A lot of companies do that, though. The question is, will they really? They need to, right? We want to see growth. We want to see growth. Let's just look over here. So and again, if revenue continues to grow, they got a positive net income that we've seen recently. And free cash flow was negative. It was $41 million in negative in last quarter. So again, even though you can do things monkey business to get your net income to be positive, but your free cash flows mean a lot. So in a quarter where they made $108 million, almost 109, they still had burned 41 in free cash flow. So we'd like to see these numbers getting more positive. They did for like a quarter over here. But I'd like to see that too. Operating expenses, G&A, administrative, it's really high. It's not ramping well. S&M is low. R&D is like not much. But it seems like there's a lot of administrative cost with this company. So I don't love the high forward PE. That's the one thing holding me back, bro. There's a short report 2 to 3 days ago on TMDX. That's interesting too. So depending upon if that short report has anything real in it, there could be some problems here. I think it's still highly valued. That's my biggest concern. One sec. I got to turn up the heat in my house. I'm feeling cold, guys. You don't like Jesse cold. It's not good. It's even worse than Jesse yelling at people because of stupid fucking comments about Joe Biden. All right. Mara is such a disappointment in the same price before BTC rally and now. I wouldn't worry. They all are, man. They're a multiplier to the underlying. When BTC does bad, they do bad. When BTC does good, they do good, and they operate at a lag. So if you're looking for some kind of insta bounce where it's outpacing Bitcoin, when Bitcoin is maybe just finally bottoming again after this recent run, again, you just have to. The best quarter for the miners, guys, is coming up because we had prices in the last quarter that were in the 60s, and this time they'll be in the 90s. And in the next quarter, for Q1 results, they might be in the 150s, 120 to 150. So you got to realize they're finally catching up. They had sideways consolidation for Bitcoin, guys, was very, very long and prolonged, and it butchered the miners. And why did it butcher the miners? Because while we were consolidating sideways for how many months? Well, the trading range started when? In March, we were in this range. That continued. We continued to be in that range until November. So March to November, you had over like 7-8 months of consolidation where the hash rate for Bitcoin just kept going up. So it became harder to mine. They had to expense more. They had to dilute shares more. They had to do convertible debt bond offerings. I mean, that stuff came later, probably over here. But they had to do that more. So even though the price of Bitcoin had shot up, their quarter was still reporting shit from here. Now this next quarter is reporting stuff from over here, and the next quarter could be reporting from here or here. So you're finally going to start outpacing all the difficulty gains with increased profits. This is when the financials start to look better. This is when things start to look better. So make sure that you get excited now. Okay? This is the time to be excited about Amara, CleanSpark, and Iron, all these other shitty miners. This is the time where they get better. And then you just had JP Morgan say that miners that hold Bitcoin are worth more and should have a higher multiple. I agree with that, by the way. I've been saying that for a long time. I'm glad JP Morgan is starting to catch up. But we still have 53% upside in Bitcoin's price action for what I believe we'll get in the next quarter or so. That's pretty awesome. Anyway, Fubo. Somebody said something about Fubo. Let's pull that out.
Average volume 30D.
Oh, no. You stop that.
10.83.
You stop that. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. All right, Fubo. So Fubo already ran a lot. So if you own Fubo and you're just trying to figure out if you should exit, that's something different. A lot of major news events have happened with that. Looks like AMD is climbing. Is it climbing? Up 0.56. So it's hit one of my notifications. Let me actually just move that because I really don't want to hear it again unless it gets higher. All right. So again, Fubo. This is this stock. I mean, look at what this used to trade at a long time ago when it first went public in 2017-16. It was $22,000 a share comparatively. Really wicked trend line that we're coming up against here soon. We had a climb, though. How far did we climb? Basically almost up to this next trend line. And so in a very short period of time, guys, this stock... So if you're looking at entering, I would not enter this stock because in a very short period of time, a month, this thing went up 440%. So if I was Jeremy, I mean, I'd be selling some out of this stock personally. But again, their new relationship with Disney, the fundamentals behind that, I can't pretend to understand them well enough. We do have massive volumes underneath of us, and that could limit downside risk. But I personally wouldn't chase Fubo. I still worry, again, Google TV, lots of money. They could drop prices. You could see a price war between, or I should say YouTube TV. You could see a price war between like YouTube and just YouTube and Fubo, even with the backing of Disney, just to try and eliminate all the competition, all the smaller guys, Pluto TV and just a bunch of others. There's so many in this market. Amazon even gives you free TV if you have Prime. So it's just like, I don't know. I don't like this market at all. Let's just keep going here. Financial Freedom says, could you take a look at DKNG or at least share your thoughts? Let me remember what DKNG is. Is that the betting platform? Is that DraftKings? Let me pull that up. While I'm pulling that up, I'll just jump over here real quick. My computer is just going to start grinding, guys. I'm sorry. It's just I don't have enough memory on this Mac. Even though I spent $4,000 or something on it, I'm probably going to lose $2,500 in trade-in for it just to buy a really juiced up Mac that's got 128 gig of memory and an M4 Max. It's going to be so much better. DraftKings, anyway. Revenue has been in decline for 4 quarters since it's, or I should say since its peak in Q4 2023. But that appears to be, there's like a flattening and then there's another leg higher. So we'll see about that. I don't like all the negative net income. I like the fact that they started to go positive, but then they're just deeply in the red. Losing $293 million in a quarter where you make $1.1 billion kind of sucks, but at least they got positive free cash flow, 133 or 187 million. That's cool. They're doing a lot of share dilution still. They've run down a lot of cash. Their debt is continuing to maintain. Let's just look at their projections. So we're kind of seeing this attrition now, whereas before it was kind of it would kind of flatten out until the next new year, with kind of an upward curve. Even like it would get a hump going into Q1, and then it would go up again. Here in 2022, it was just kind of sideways, and then in 2023, it was kind of down, and now it seems like it's kind of following the same thing where it looks like Q1 might be okay based on their forecast, but then we go down again. So maybe a slowing pace of growth. Let's check out activity from insiders. Again, no real selling pressure. That's good. Institutional ownership growing. That's good. Short interest, not that high. Sentiment. Let's look here. We'll do the extended on this one. I think they should default to extended. No real social media interest since 11/6 of 2024. And this will build up. We don't have a lot in here right now, but very bullish news sentiment and analyst sentiment and earnings call sentiment. Stocks twits is neutral. I don't know that there's any value in this one personally. I don't love them. But yeah, so all that's interesting. Let's look here. Stock-based comp starting to go down. I don't know. It seems like they're kind of going in the right direction, but their forward PE is still 33. That seems rich to me, so I don't love it at this level. I can pull up the stock real quick and see if there's a better level where I would like it more. It looks like I don't have anything drawn out here for fibs and stuff. Feeling a little lazy today. Probably don't want to do it, but I'll do it anyway. All right, so we'll do it from down here. And yeah, we'll do it from down here. I think that's probably the best. Sometimes you got to figure out fibs kind of, you have to figure out where you want to draw your bottom. I'm going to draw our bottom. I'm going to draw it from here. Not from here, here, and here, because we've already kind of made that measured move. But I do want to draw it from here. So if we figure out that this is, done with downside, then this is probably a pretty good fib level to draw out. And what it shows is that the .618, basically this other high that we had over here in the Wayback Machine back in 2021, before we started raising rates at the most aggressive rate and crushing all the meme stocks, that we'd get back to that level. And so that's like at 71, 72. Not exactly asymmetric compared to all the Bitcoin and Tesla calls and ARKG and PayPal and all this other stuff that could do a lot better, in my opinion. But, it's there. Open. Yeah, we can look at open. And I do need to pull up Tesla news. I'm going to do that in a second, too. So we'll look at open here real quick. We'll jump back over to Tesla, and then we'll look at anything else we want to talk about between now and the next bit of news that comes out. So open door. So let's just look here at open door. So revenue, wow, looks really bad, right? Got crushed probably by the real estate market. These guys bought homes. They slowed down on home purchases. Here's the thing I don't love. I don't think home prices are continuing to go up. Negative net income. So lost 78 million last quarter, in a quarter where they made 1.37 billion. I don't know. I just think that I don't know how well they do off of home sales versus I think they're going to lose. I think they're going to lose on the home sales. I think home prices are going to go down, especially with the higher rates that we have right now, especially if we stay there for any period of time. The way that will reignite the market is by home prices dropping and people starting to compete against each other. And so I don't love that kind of environment for something like open. I really don't. Institutional ownership still kind of in a downward trend. Short interest is almost double digit. Yeah, 13%, so double digits. Nothing really exciting to look at here, in my opinion. I don't know. I'm not very excited about open at all. They can't make money, and they could get hit even more, I feel like. It's called TradingView. Yeah, if you're ever, TradingView's up here. And again, the best time you can get it for free, but if you start getting a little more advanced in TradingView, the best time to get, to upgrade is going to be Black Friday sales. They do like a 50 to 75, 80% off sometimes. It's really good. Namdatan, Dorkin asking Tom Lee, what is a fib? Oh my God, from yesterday. He's such an idiot. How much money are we making today? Let me come over here and refresh. See if we're making any money today, guys. Yeah, okay, so about 300,000 across all my accounts. It looks like it's hard to know though. Some of the stuff, the options contracts don't update until a little bit later, so they could actually be outperforming this number. We just won't see that until later. Sitting at about across all my accounts, closer to 1.1, 1.2 million in Tesla. Even after shaving off 70,000 yesterday, to buy calls and buy and really lever in, hard into Bitcoin related investments. You can see right here, guys, just here on my main account, I have over $1 million in MSTR and MSTX. You can see how high that conviction level is. I do need to update my portfolio. I was going to do it this morning, but I just woke up too late. I've been trying to focus on my health. Rob, I haven't done a good job. Rob Group is so great, him and his wife. I missed a meeting with them, and I haven't been documenting all my food stuff very well, but they're trying to help me with my health, and yeah, I need to work harder at it. So I think I'm supposed to meet with them today. I haven't even looked at messages. I got to figure that out. I haven't been great with messages, guys. I'm going in a million directions. My primary focus is trying to make sure that I understand macroeconomic, where everything is heading, so that we can get rich. And then at the same time, I need my health to be an important thing too. But it looks like a good day. Probably sitting at, me personally, maybe the $5.4, $5.5 million range. Still underneath my peak of 7 million, but we should get there very quickly. And I think MicroStrategy will help lead that. As you can see, this fall here is getting close to a perfect breakout zone. We're hitting the 50 on the daily time frame. We bounced perfectly off the fib down here, retraced back down. Now we're back above peak volumes again. And looking to break out. And if we break out, if we just get above this 360 to 370 range, guys, in here, and then grind above this, that's beautiful. It means we're going to 400 quick. After 400, it is like once we get above the 400 range, it is a real quick trip to 486 and then to 540 and then even higher. I believe that in the next quarter or two, we could see at least 147% upside on MSTR. I think MSTX, if that does that, can do 400%. And I like that because I have roughly, I've got it across a few accounts, I've got about $360,000 in this. So if it goes up 400%, I'd be sitting at 1.5, 1.6 million pretty easily on MSTX. What's my exit strategy? My exit strategy is to try and be out of MSTR probably completely, or at least the majority of it, around 150 to 180. Health issues, yeah, I got my share of health issues. I got something called gastroparesis. I have other problems too, that I won't go into all these details. Just some growths on my body that I'm told are not cancerous yet. But I got another doctor's appointment in a couple of weeks here. So I'm probably going to have stuff cut out of my body this next year. Large parts like my leg and other areas like my groin, which is not fun to talk about. So, yeah, there's stuff. There's always stuff, guys. You live with it, right? You deal with it. What else we got? Printed Pixels. Hey, Jesse, have you looked at Destiny 100 before? It's a publicly traded fund which exposes people to private companies. No. No, it'd be interesting to see what all that means, though. Yeah, I don't know. I'll take a look at it. I'll try and take a look at it. Skin decisions. Yeah. S. Ramani. Morning, Jesse. What are your thoughts on Malay? Mercado Libre. What is their business again? Is it mostly Brazil? It is what it is, MB. We're all going to die someday. Malay. I'm just trying to extend that out as far as I possibly can. So revenue going up, net income looking good. This is all good. Their cash flows are beautiful. Their forward PE is 39. Let's see what their estimates look like. Yeah, the Amazon of South America. But where do they get their business from?
It's mostly Brazil, Argentina too. Yeah, I think this is actually an ARGT. It's actually in the ARGT fund. I think it's their top holding. I like it. It's a good company. It's a good company. I like for diversification. I still like ARGT because I think Argentina is just going to be a rock star in the years ahead, which is why I bought more of that yesterday. Destiny is so overvalued with NAV premium. What is it? Can you tell me, Theo? See, that's what I worry about with stuff like that. Is you usually, when you go into the private markets, you pay a premium to NAV, which is net asset value. And so you're paying a premium. Private markets could be 20 to 40%, but I worry about this like big, huge fund, how much that could be. Kyle Wright, are you concerned about Mara lending out? I don't love lending. I don't love the lending strategy, but here's the thing. I think their lending is probably a hell of a lot safer than what we saw for lending strategies in the past with like Voyager and all these other companies that weren't publicly traded entities. So I think Mara's lending. I don't love lending. I don't know. Again, it depends on who they're lending to and how reputable they are and whether they're rehypothecating funds. And I doubt they are. So I think Mara is probably a lot safer. But again, it's only like 3% of my portfolio, guys. It's not a huge amount of money. I'm a fan of Reddit. I think Reddit is trash. I don't like any governance that allows you to be able to downvote people to oblivion that don't have the same political views that you have or whatever kind of views that you have. Reddit is woke trash. It is nothing like X. It's not even comparable in any way. I think the company is going to fail in the years ahead. I think they'll eventually just disappear and go the way of the dodo bird. So I wouldn't invest in Reddit personally. I think it's garbage. I think it's garbage from like, is it good for humanity view? And I think it's garbage from an investment view. Justin, being a fireman, statistically, I'm going to die from a heart attack or cancer. It's why I just try to eat good and exercise. Yeah, I mean, breathing is definitely a problem, right? For you guys between breathing and cardiovascular, because of what you guys are subjected to, just the sheer intensity. Yeah, I mean, all we can do is our best, right? I wish I would have done my best a long time ago. It's why I'm talking to people like Rob now, and it's why I'm trying to make that health a greater priority in my life, because I owe it to my daughter to be around, at least to see her grow up and get married and have kids. Nicholas, but you do the same thing and ban people that throw that from having different opinions. Well, you know what, Nicholas, you're gone right now too, because anybody who talks shit to me goes away. So, bye. So congratulations. And here's the difference, guys. Here's the difference, right? I am not a social media platform. I am Jesse, right? I'm micro to macro. I can do whatever the fuck I want. This message is mine. It's my message. It's not yours, Nicholas. It's mine, okay? I let people stay on here. Do you understand the difference? And here's the deal. It's okay for me to censor out noise of stupid people that say stupid shit like you did. And if anybody else wants to be on the list of people that never get to talk here again, please let me know. I'll be happy to get rid of you. But it's different, right? Because I'm getting rid of noise. When you have a governance model where you literally can't have a voice on a platform. So like when I block dipshits like Nicholas, right? And whoever the fuck that person was earlier, when I block people like you, I'm removing your voice from my fucking page. Mine. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. Okay? It's my privilege of being who I am. It's my privilege for having the account size that I have and people that listen to me. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. And that's how I base my channel and my social medias, okay? In case you don't realize that, Nicholas. Maybe you do now. But when if X, the platform, or if Reddit, the platform, can destroy me and literally make it to where I never have a voice on the platform, that's different. If you're too retarded to understand that, cool. At least I don't have to listen to you anymore. Justin, if you disagree with Jesse, don't say anything to him. Write it down and then throw it away. I like that. Hey, here's the deal. If you disagree with me on something and you can provide like data points and thoughtful response for why I'm wrong on something, cool. If you can't and you just say stupid shit, bye. And sometimes I delete people too quickly and I let them back. I'm guilty of that.
I'm a human being. Man Mahindra, Jesse is always ready to hear opposing views, but people trying to do stupid things are doomed and get removed from the stream. Yeah, I'm okay with, again, I'm not right about everything, guys, and I'm okay with that. But if you act like an asshole, or if you basically, like Nicholas, call me a hypocrite, fuck you. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself, okay? That's my view. Jeff L., right on, Jesse. Love your awesome insights and rants. Thanks, bro. Justin, just be happy all you're doing getting blocked. If you were in the UK, you'd have, yeah, be worried about being in the UK where you could go to fucking prison for months or years because of what you say, okay? Getting muted from my platform or blocked from my platform where you could still watch my fucking content, but you don't get to say stupid shit or call me a hypocrite is a pretty good thing, I'd say. I think it's going to be better than expected for the CPI print, JC. I think it's going to be better than expected. I'm actually interested to see what Tom Lee's views are tomorrow. I'm sure we'll get them. We'll probably get a report this afternoon from FS Insight. I love his work so much and the people that work for him. There's a guy in here too. What is his name? Mark Newton. I'll just show you him. Mark is brilliant. I really like him from a technical standpoint and just just an analytics standpoint. He's great. But I'm sure we'll get more data from them about their CPI projections, and I'm very curious on them. I do think though that it's going to be lower than expected, and if that ends up being the case, if we end up seeing that those rates are good and that inflation isn't a major concern, I think that's just wonderful for the market across the board, and I'm very excited about that. But I think guys, what's coming in the days ahead, and we're probably going to do, we just rocketed at market open, guys. So I think you should be ready for like a little bit of a retracement because people don't want to get too excited. They got a good PPI, but they're really looking for the green light tomorrow, okay? They're really looking for the green light tomorrow. They get that with CPI. If we get that, it's off to the fucking races, just to be clear. So I'm very excited about that. EC, thank you for the $10. I wake up and you're telling a hypocrite off. I like it. Who needs coffee? I think I need coffee, actually. But people get on the web and say things they would probably never say. Yeah, I agree. You wouldn't necessarily call somebody a hypocrite to their face after they were talking about something, but you'll come on here and do it. That's just, it is what happens, right? But again, I don't have time for the bullshit. I don't have time for the negativity. I'll give you my view. I'll listen to opposing ones. There are times where, again, I was blocking a bunch of Trumpers. The beginning of last year, guys, I was blocking a bunch of Trumpers because they were pissing me off. Those people were right. So I might be wrong sometimes. I might go off and be fucking wrong. That's okay. I do make mistakes. I'm a normal person. Nam Dotton reminds me of Tyson quote, social media made you all way too comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the face for it. Exactly, right? It's a really good point. I like Mike Tyson so much. He lost his daughter years ago, and that was a transformational point in his life. He went from like a lion to realizing, the brevity of the time that we're here and what's important. And he's such a better person now. I never would have thought of Mike Tyson as a philosopher, but he really has become one after experiencing what somebody should never have to. Oh, anyway, so we have the RCM TIP Economic Optimism Index. That's going to be coming at 9:05 in about 3 minutes. We'll look at that real quick. After that, I want to jump back over and talk about Tesla a little bit more. And then I'll probably, what do we have here? We got Steve Leisman talking about something. Let's see what he's getting ready. Oh, he's probably talking about this real quick here.
Rally in the equity market, as you see. Not too much, but a bit. Let's get to our Steve Leisman. He's got a closer look at the underlying numbers of PPI. Steve.
Hey, David. Yeah, finally some good news on inflation. The PPI, food, energy, and trade worst may be avoided in tomorrow's consumer price index report, which is the more important of the two. Headline coming in 0.2 versus 0.4 last month, and an expectation or an estimate of.
So he's just saying that he thinks it could be beneficial and that we could end up doing better. Better than expected, I think.
0.4. The core flat 0-0. Goose egg versus 0.2. Take out food, energy, and trade. It actually fell 0.1%.
JC, what do you mean get ready for some BS numbers once Trump comes in office? What do you mean by that? Can you clarify, please?
But the headline's still showing some in the pipeline, 3.3 versus 3.5. Looking at the details, food declining after massive increases last month. Some of them related to the avian flu. Other issues were out there, but they were down this month. Energy, though, popping higher. Trade down 0.1%. That's the measure of margins out there among wholesalers and retailers.
All right, I'm going to leave this alone for a second. So Dario said, during the week Trump takes office, do you think the market will lean more red or green? I'm considering purchasing an options contract. Not financial advice, but I actually think that we're going to pump on the news. I think it's going to be a buy the news thing. I don't know that I would have said that. Without us basically retracing the entire Trump trade since the the election. We went up, we shot up like crazy. We've wiped all those gains out. So now I think day one, I think there's a ton of actions that are going to occur. You got to remember, Trump actually said that if Hamas doesn't have a program to be able to give the hostages up, that he's going to light up the Middle East. He didn't say Gaza. He said the Middle East. He's talking about, again, day ones for crypto and Bitcoin legislation. These guys are firing off. They're going to be fast and furious. And so I think the market's actually going to love the speed at which they operate. And so I actually think that we'll see upside. I think we'll see upside. So I'm excited about that. Gaurav, Jess, Ryan, thank you for signing up too. And then what did we have up here? Gaurav said, Jesse learned options in the last year, kept holding, adding to the Hood January 2025 trade, made more than 15x on Hood calls, lost money on PayPal. I understand large asymmetric bets. Yeah, me too. I made 1,600%. So I made technically 17x on Hood calls over the last 2 years, which has really been good. I lost all my 2025 PayPal position, but my 2026 PayPal position I think is doing better. And I made up for all my losses pretty much. I'm still down right now because of just the recent drops have been so heavy. But today, those PayPal calls are up 8%, and I'm sitting on, between this and my other account, over $400,000 in PayPal calls, and I'm up 133% on those. That number will probably update a little bit more here too and get a little better. But yeah, it's one of those things where the asymmetric bets, you have to be willing to lose some to make some. And there's a time and a place for options. And I think that time is going to be running out a little bit as we go into further into the year. But I'm glad you made money, bro. Dario, during the week, Trump, oh yeah, no, that was you. Man, imagine so Man Mahindra says, Jesse, imagine the anger Elon must have felt when people were shitting on him simultaneously were earning money from that platform. Jesse is providing so much for free. We must be, yeah, well, again, people don't even have to, like that person, they might have had their membership donated by Manny because he just gave away 100 today. So I don't even know that they were paying anything to be able to talk shit to me. So they don't have to be here, right? We can help them. We can help free them from what has been. Purdy Financial. I love this version of Jesse. 2025 is going to be a great year. I think it is. Ryan, perhaps I missed it. Look through X comments. Can you elaborate on FMCC? Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So these plays, I talked to them just a little bit. It looks like it's up 10% today, at least on Fannie maybe. Fannie Mae. And Freddie Mac's probably doing good too. This is a Bill Ackman play. So Bill Ackman talked about how these were a really great opportunity and they've been invested in them. They've already ran a lot. Let me just look up Bill here, and we'll let him speak to it, because again, he's way more versed in this than I am. I like the play because of the opportunity. I can't even remember if you're in chat and you're the one that brought this up. Let me know. Let's see how much he posts though. How much does he post? Let me see. Let me see this. I'll do a Control F or something. I'll do a find and see if I can, where the fuck is it? Where's my find? Why is my find not working? Is it Command F? All right, Danny, let's see, FNMA. I don't even know where he has it. I'll try and find it.
and do a post talking about it. But essentially, it's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and the fact that the Trump organization is going to be working to take these out of conservatorship and what they can do if they're taken out of conservatorship and how they can perform. And if you look over here, I was just talking about this earlier. If they got to their previous all-time highs back before the 2008 Great Financial Crisis, or I'm sorry, the dot-com peak over here, and then they fell off hard into the 2008 financial crisis. That is a 1,300% upside move. I don't know that we can get that, but I do believe that there's a good chance in the next year or so, if the markets do well, that there is almost 400% upside for these. So it's just another asymmetric bet where I found it intriguing. Real quickly here. Since deleted his video, he posted about it, I think. Who did, Ryan? Sorry, who did? Who posted about it? All right, but anyway. So I'll see if I can find the Bill Ackman post about it. I thought it was a good one. Calls 2026. I don't know about calls. I don't know about calls because I still have worries about, again, I don't want a bunch of leverage right now. I'd rather have something I could just hold out. Based upon timing, because there are a lot of concerns heading into the second half of this year. So, and this is already an asymmetric bet. A 400% upside is a huge amount of upside. I think Ackman deleted some content. Oh, I'll see if I can find it. I'm not sure if he did or not, but I'll see if I can find it. Fidelity didn't offer calls. Okay. All right. Well, here, real quickly, I want to jump, guys. I want to jump to Tesla, and then, and I think. Let's see, we got that optimism number. It was 51.9. So let's read off what this is, because this is a little bit different than just business optimism. It says economic optimism index in the United States decreased to 51.9 points in January from 51 points in December of 2024. Economic optimism in the United States averaged 49.1. Okay, whatever. This is coming from Technometrica, Market Intelligence, Real Clear Markets. So I don't know, what does it say? Is it measures American opinions on outlooks on the economy. The index is based on nationwide survey of 1,300 adults evaluated 6-month economic outlook, personal financial outlook, economic, financial, and reading above 50. Yeah, see, this is a tougher one for me. I don't know if I can give as much weight to this one. Let's look at our other one. Let's look at our other one and this is good. Like, this is still fucking huge, right? If you look here, we hit levels that we hadn't hit since August of 2021, so a 3-year plus high. That's all really good. But let's look at the other one that we had over here and see what its weight is. NFIB Business Optimism Index. So this one, this is for small business. That's the key difference. So this is more going to be like CFO. This isn't individuals that are like, fuck, what's America doing? This is the business community for small business saying that we've never been more excited than we are right now, and these are the highest levels that we've seen since 2018, 7 years ago, and some of the highest levels we've ever seen, right? If you look back over here, guys, the highest levels since, again, 2018, we had a nice run before the pandemic, and then levels that we saw in 2004, we had a nice run up to 2008. And then the highest levels in 1983, and we had a lot of high runs, guys. So I would say that this is just a really exciting thing for the small business index, and it's a sign that Tom Lee is going to eventually be right about small caps. I think this is the one you care about the most, the NFIB. This is the one you care about. This is the one that matters. Anyway, all right, so let's go to Tesla. I want to talk to that real quick. And so I talked to a few of these, so we'll skip the ones I already talked to. But again, this is a huge increase in 13.2, and it's only getting better. And then again, Elon and Tesla, all his companies doing everything they can to help out when it's needed around the world. That's amazing. $800 price target bull case for Morgan Stanley. Biden snubs Tesla's $100 million big rig charging funding request. This is just bullshit. This is bullshit, and this is the epitome of the Biden administration, political bias and basically political persecution, right? Investing.com, Tesla beats German auto giant Audi. I don't know if I talked about this yesterday, but they surpassed Audi for the first time
Absolutely insane. I love the new cyber cars. I love this concept. This is great. And again, everything that Elon was doing, this is all good stuff, guys. It's all good stuff. And everything's looking good today. We're ready to rock, guys. If CPI is good tomorrow, there's my boy Rob. Rob, I got to respond to you. I haven't even looked at your message. That's my boy Rob. This is the guy who's a badass and who's going to help me get healthier, and already has, honestly. I've been working out more. I found out how old I am just from working out. I don't look nearly as good as Rob does. Ridiculous. Him and his wife are two very fit people. They're awesome. Thank you, Rob. EC, $10. Jesse, did you see a clip of Leslie Stahl trying to bait Jamie Dimon into talking trash on Trump? No, I didn't. You posted it on my last X post. I'll take a look. No, I didn't. Let me hop over there real quick. It doesn't surprise me. I don't even know what my last X post was. But yeah, you might have to link it again. Or just like tag it on something. Or you know what? Let me go to here. I can see. See if you did it. Are you EC on here too? Tough play between you and Amit vesting. I play them on two screens to be supportive. Nice. I'm better for the morning show, I think. I'm better, Amit. You should just quit your morning show and let me do it. But I do love Amit. He's a great dude. He's a great interviewer too. Just a really all-around great guy. I don't know where that is. Yeah, so I think, guys, I'm probably going to call it from here right now. Thank you all for everything and your support all the time. I really appreciate it. I think the markets are going to start looking good up until the inauguration next beginning of next week, guys. If CPI comes in good, I think it's time to rock, okay? I think it's time to rock. So get ready to rock. And hopefully you bought the dip. Hopefully you sold some near the top or de-levered. And then hopefully you started to lever back in again. Maybe got some bills paid like I did. And because now is the fun time. Now it's just like, how rich are we going to get? Anyway, I love you guys. Probably going to peace out here. And I hope you have a great day. And I will talk to you later, okay? Bye, guys.